Hi, this is Eric Daly, and welcome to Week 6 mini learning module as we will talk about leadership. Now, here are the learning outcomes for this week. We will talk about the necessary leadership skills for a successful operation of an organization. We'll also talk about the difference between leadership and management, behavioral approach. We'll also talk about situational approach and authentic leadership versus servant leadership. Now, here are the necessary leadership skills. In my opinion, you have to be a good communicator. Communication is crucial not only to your work, but also your life. As a leader or executive, communication starts with you. You need to be able to convey your points across sharp and precise so that others could follow your lead. The delivery and tone on how you communicate is also important. You have to have a good vision. You have to believe in what your vision is for the company and for yourself. You also have to be a good motivator, be influential, know how to delegate, be very passionate about your beliefs, be well organized, and most importantly, lead by example. Leadership and management. Leaders inspire people to want to do something. However, managers hold people accountable for doing something. Managers have an transactional style, and leaders have a charismatic, transformational style. Managers have subordinates, leaders have followers. Now, the main difference between leaders and managers is that leaders have people follow them while managers have people work for them. A successful business owner needs to be both a strong leader and a manager to get their team on board to follow them towards their vision of success. Leadership is about getting people to understand and believe in your vision and to work with you to achieve your goals, while managing is more about administering and making sure day-to-day things are happening as they should. Behavioral approach. Behavioral approach focuses on what leaders do and how they act. Leadership consists of two general kinds of behavior: task behaviors and relationship behaviors. Task-oriented behaviors are directives given to employees to get things done and to ensure that organizational goals are met. Now, people-oriented leader behaviors, also known as relationship behaviors, include showing concern for employee feelings and treating employees with respect. People-oriented leaders generally care about the well-being of their employees, and they demonstrate their concern in their actions and decisions. The behavioral approach works not by telling leaders how to behave, but by describing the major components of their behavior. Now let's talk about situational approach. Situational leadership refers to when the leader must adjust their style to fit the development level of the followers they are trying to influence. Styles of situational leadership consist of directive behavior and supportive behavior. 4 styles of situational leadership include telling, selling, participating, and delegating. Telling, within this style, a leader will specifically instruct subordinates what to do and how to do it. Selling is information and direction will still be provided by the manager in this style of leadership, but there's also more two-way communication with subordinates. Within this role, leaders sell their message to get employees on board, persuading them to work toward a common goal. Next is participating. With participation, leaders can focus more on relationships and less on direction. In doing so, the situational leadership manager works closely with the team and shares decision-making responsibilities. Lastly is delegating. Although the leader will still monitor tasks in organizational progress, he or she will pass much of the responsibility for the execution and completion of the established goals onto the individual subordinates or dedicated work groups. Now let's talk about authentic leadership versus servant leadership. Authentic leaders are confident, hopeful, optimistic, and resilient individuals deeply aware of how they think and behave. Servant leadership is an approach focusing on leadership from the point of view of the leader and their behavior. Both servant leadership and authentic leadership are positive leadership concepts that have much in common. The major difference between servant leadership and authentic leadership lies in approach, application, and style. Servant leadership and authentic leadership have many characteristics in common. Both leadership styles, genuine desire to serve others, are interested in empowering the people they serve. They place a high importance on values and remain guided by qualities of compassion. They refuse to compromise on principles. And they place a high importance on establishing relationships with people, rely on their personal charisma to get things done, and focus on building people's strengths rather than focusing on what is wrong with people and their weaknesses. Now, the difference between servant leadership and authentic leadership and style. Well, servant leadership's one-dimensional approach does not change in response to the situation. This leadership style recommends listening, persuasion, and empathy, and even during times of grave crisis. Authentic leaders are more proactive and adapt their style to fit the immediate situation. Such leaders can be inspiring and motivating on one occasion, and tough about people-related or financial decisions on another occasion. Now I have 3 supplemental materials that I think will interest you. One would talk about 3 positive leadership styles for the 21st century. Another one would talk about 10 essential business leadership skills. And the third one would talk about situational leadership. Now here are my discussion questions for this week. Question number 1. What leadership style do you prefer and why? Question number 2. Name the 2 most important leadership skills needed to run a successful business and why. Question number 3. Which leader has inspired and influenced you? And how did they impact your life? And question number 4. Do you believe in having a mentor and why? Here are my references for this week. I look forward to talking to you for week 7, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend.